All right, this is going to flow right into Jill Ames. Jill Ames is an avid reader and a dedicated library patron. As a matter of fact, she and her husband just got back from Arizona last week, picked out their new home, and the very first thing she had to show me was her new Buckeye, Arizona library card, both of them actually, before I even saw a picture of their new home. Anyway, in 2002, Jill approached Jean Anderson, who was then the head of adult services, about the possibility of starting an afternoon book club at the library. And because book clubs are one of those core programs that the library provides, and because they do take quite a bit of time, and we only had enough staff time for one book club, Jean took Jill up on the offer, and since 2002, Jill has been picking out books, reading avidly, asking us questions, doing background research, finding the questions and leading the book discussions the second Wednesday of the month at 1:30. And in 2009, actually, book clubs were becoming so popular that Jill started a second book club called the Read It Again Book Club. So over that period of time, I figure that Jill has probably conducted at least 144 book discussions. And if you average at least 10 people at each of those book discussions, that means that Jill has allowed over 1,400 people to participate in library book clubs. And that wouldn't have been possible without her volunteer service. So now that she has acquired her new home in Arizona, we'll miss Jill. We thank her for her service. And we know that Jill will very soon be conducting those book clubs under the sun. Thank you, Jill. And I will read her certificate. In appreciation and recognition of a commitment of 5 or more years of dedicated support and continuous service as facilitator of the Afternoon Book Club, on behalf of the Sun Prairie Public Library, the name of Jill Ames has been added to our library's honor roll of service.
And moving on to our second honor roll honoree, Joe Chase. I feel like you probably all know Joe Chase. He is a staunch library supporter. He has been here through thick and thin. He attends and participates in countless library functions, so many that I'm sure, absolutely 100% positive I don't have them all. There's no way. Some of these functions have included being on the landscape committee, which landscaped our entire front area, which greatly improved our front entrance, really made it welcoming. I feel like we always have had a welcoming library, but it looks even better when you come in from the outside and it really brings you in. He was there from the beginning on the landscape committee. He was also instrumental in all our prairies. He was instrumental in establishing the Prairie Walk Path and conducting prairie walks on Saturdays. So you might not know that Joe has been here on Saturdays conducting prairie walks and describing different plants, getting all that information out to people. For multiple years, he has served as the MC for the Bookin' It Run. So yet another Bookin' It supporter. And he has offered numerous programs and displays on Georgia O'Keeffe, including being instrumental in the acquisition of Georgia Cowkeefe, who recently moved from her winter location here in the library. I'm not sure if she's quite out. I know she moved.
She's out.
Is she out? All right, I haven't been down there. She just disappeared earlier this week. I was like, oh, she's gone. Joe was instrumental in acquiring her for this city, and it's really awesome. She lives here every winter in our not quite lobby area, but just as you walk in from CERT. I cannot tell you how much joy she brings to children and everyone else, but especially children who would ride her if we let them. And not just Georgia Cowkeefe, that's just one part. He has always been an avid supporter of Georgia O'Keeffe here in the library and throughout the community. But he's done numerous displays, numerous programs centered around Georgia O'Keeffe, which would not have happened without his loyalty and support. Without further ado, Joe's name, in appreciation and recognition of a commitment of 5 or more years of dedicated support and continuous service as a staunch library supporter. He's attending and participating in many different library functions, serving on the landscape committee, participating in the prairie walks, and offering countless programs and displays on Georgia O'Keeffe, Joe Chase has been inscribed on the library's honor roll of service. We greatly appreciate his service here. Thank you, Joe. And we have one last award, the Dale Davis Award for Innovation. And this recipient is Cliff Haas. So what has Cliff done that contributes to new and innovative activity? Well, a better question is, what hasn't he done is the much better question. When I have an idea, but I don't know how to make it happen, Cliff's my go-to guy. The Lego wall, if any of you have been down in the early literacy area, I've been to Children's, a lot of the things that are made down there are because of Cliff. I actually had the parts for the Lego wall for about 2 years, and I couldn't figure out how to make it happen because I had all these Lego boards, and I had some boards, and I had some glue, and I had some bolts. But how to make it stick on the wall and not fall off and not crack or shatter. Cliff had recently come to us and said, you know, I've got some time on my hands. I'm pretty handy. What can I do? I said, all right, you can make my Lego wall. That would be really cool. So he not only got it up, but then he created the custom wood framework around it. All on his own, he just took care of it. It was fantastic. That Lego wall is used day in and day out every day. Not just the Lego wall, he put together and set up my puppet theater down there. He put together and set up my train table down there. So you can see there's a common theme of Cliff really being handy with his hands and helping us in practical ways. There was a bench right by the aquarium. It was kind of a redundant bench that kids jumped off of a lot of, and we had a lot of near misses. He took it under his wing to tear out that bench before the carpet came in last year. He tore it out, reconstructed underneath the aquarium because it was partially supporting the aquarium. So he reconstructed it all, put up new drywall, repainted it all, got it all ready. And then we were able to install additional DVD shelving, which we desperately needed. That would not have happened without Cliff's involvement. And of course, rebuilding the support structure under the aquarium was pretty critical because having 150 gallons of water spill out, it's nobody's idea of fun. So he also, even now, he checks in and makes sure that the paint around the aquarium is still holding up well. He's still working to find just the perfect paint mix that doesn't chip or get scratched by all those little fingers coming at the aquarium. And he has more projects in the works. Whatever we dream up, Cliff helps us make happen. So, without further ado, the Dale Davis Award for Innovation, Cliff Haas, is hereby honored for his hands-on support and improvements to the library facility, including installation of new and inventive features in the children's department. In recognition of his practical and applied knowledge, energetic and proactive service to the library, we deeply appreciate his contributions and commitment to the library. And now Debbie Byrne will make some closing remarks.
As library volunteer coordinator, I wanted to have the opportunity to speak to all of you today. First of all, let it be said, volunteers play a pretty significant role in the health of the library. I mean, that's an understatement. Currently, we have 135 active volunteers, and now we are up to, and this is only the recorded number, and I believe that number of hours would be even higher. We have over 5,303 hours this last year of volunteer support. That's a pretty significant chunk of time. And we wouldn't get a lot of the things accomplished that we get accomplished if you weren't here. Your contributions are really integral to the library's health. And if I have learned nothing else in the past several years, is that you can't really put a number on what you guys are doing because you guys just roll up your sleeves and pitch in and help where things need to be done. And let's face it, the jobs that we have at the library are usually not too glamorous. We have our routine jobs, some of which are just shelf reading because people just make a real mess in the library. We got people coming in to do mailings. We have people helping and working in the Read Before bookstore. Program support. Those are all some of our routine jobs that I know a good share of you out here are helping with all the time. But then we have those specialized jobs. With the email, what we've started to do is to find new and innovative ways to use you. And some of them would be Booker and the Bookinet guy, or it might be the spring gala and getting that going. We have the seed folks that we talked about last year and needed your help. And we also have our, I call it indoor-outdoor cleaning, which is basically dusting inside the library and doing the pickup of garbage and some maintaining of the gardens outside.